America is a failed experiment, and I think it's time for people to stop acting like they don't see it too. Because as we look at America, the question becomes, who the hell made this place? As someone who's watched American TV, as somebody who has watched the land of the free and the home of the brave for all of my life, I can only conclude that America is a failed experiment. Now, this is not some anti-American rant, because I know Americans are very proud of their country, and I know a lot of them are going to be like, oh, you know what, F him, he doesn't care about America. But guys and girls in America, my American family, you have to look outside and look in. A lot of the time when we are in something, we don't see it for what it actually is, okay? Now, somebody from the outside, like myself, is looking into America and saying there are a few problems. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't problems in the UK where I am. That doesn't mean that there aren't problems throughout the world, because there are. However, America seems to be the land of extremes. And when you look at a few of the reasons why, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, let's look at the first one. Healthcare.
So I had a baby 2 months ago, and I just got the hospital bill. Please hold. Let's see how much it costs. I have the breakdown on my computer. So I vaginally delivered him, and I was induced. And yes, I got the epidural. Whew, amazing. Oh my gosh. First thing is the labor room / delivery room. $13,900. Ouch. I got another bill that says room and board semi-private. That was $19,111. Next charge is anesthesia, $2,181. Pharmacy, $1,291.33. Other diagnostic services, that was $1,001. What is that? Please explain. The laboratory was $862, and then I got a charge for the emergency room, which was $411. So all those together, $38,757.33. That hurt more than the contractions. Thank God for insurance. They covered a lot of it. My amount due is only $1,418.26. Whew! I'm not done. I have like 3 more charges. Next bill is from US Anesthesia, and they charged me $13.56 But after insurance, that was only $135.67. My last 2 charges is vaginal delivery postpartum care, and that was $6,793. Ooh! The last final charge was the cervical dilator, which is the balloon that they put up there to induce my labor. That was $385. After insurance, $651.16. We love insurance. Okay, want to know the final total? In total, it cost me $47,292.01 to have a baby.
So it costs over $40,000 in America just to have a baby. Now, if somebody can justify how it costs $40,000 just to have a baby, I'd love to hear it. Now, I live in the UK, where the National Health Service is a thing. Now, in America, specifically, this is what I've noticed. So many Americans have been sold the idea that a National Health Service is some kind of communist or socialist thing, right? So we need to be really scared of the communists and the socialists, because if we get national health care, then, you know, we're going to turn into a communist or a socialist nation. I live in the UK. We are not a communist or a socialist nation, but we are a nation that says, you know what? If you walk out of your house today and you fall down and you break your leg, we think you should be able to heal from that. We think our doctors should be able to help you with that. That's what we think. And so the National Health Service is another form of tax that comes out of your pay. I believe it's 12%, 12 or 14% of tax that comes out of your pay every month. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, you see, you do pay for your health service. You do, you see? Let me tell you something. You don't even notice. Because your pay is your pay, you don't even notice. You don't sit there thinking, oh my God, the National Health Service took money out of my pay today. My national insurance is too high. It just becomes part and parcel of your tax. You don't even see it. You don't even feel it. But doing that for the nation means that people within the nation, when I had my son, do you know how much I paid? £10, probably for the parking. I paid like £10 because I had to park my car. That was it. Okay? I didn't have to pay over $40,000 just to have my child. Children are expensive already. Okay? Children are very expensive. You think I've got to pay $40,000 just to get pregnant and have a baby? And what about people that don't have insurance? There are many people in America that don't have insurance. Does that mean that they are no longer allowed to have children? How is this normal? This is a failed experiment, guys. From the beginning of America, the inception of America, it was an experiment. Okay? I'm not trying to disrespect people. People can be upset if they want to be upset. That's fine. Okay? The Europeans that came to America, first experiment, smallpox. Let's give the, indigenous people smallpox. See what happens. Okay, we kill them off. Second experiment, slavery. Let's get these Africans to work and slave away and give us a life that we should have been working for ourselves. It's as if the whole country seems to be built on failed experiments. Because now you have, people from Mexico, the indigenous people that you tried to kill off with the smallpox, saying, okay, they're going to jump the borders. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that borders need to be respected. And if you have borders, no one should be allowed to encroach upon them. However, because of your failed experiment status, because of America's failed experiment status, what else was going to happen? You can't just push people out and expect them not to push back. It's like a law of the universe. For every action, there is going to be an opposite and equal reaction. That's just what happens. This isn't me hating America. It's just me speaking factual information. It's universal. Okay? The actions that America has taken, the experiments that America has chosen to engage in, is only going to hurt their nation. It's only going to hurt their nation. No one, let me tell you something about life. No one is able to have a foothold forever. No one, no nation. It's never happened throughout the whole of history. The Egyptians had a foothold at one point in time. The Chinese had a foothold at one point in time. The Greeks had a foothold at one point in time. The Romans had a foothold at one point. No one gets to have a foothold forever. We are seeing the fall of America. Russia's encroaching. China's encroaching. Indians are in the back like, okay, let's see how this goes. America is falling. It's been a failed experiment from the beginning. There is a thing in America about indoctrination and not education. It's about indoctrinating people. And so when you indoctrinate a people, what you find is that at some point in time, the indoctrination doesn't work because it's not built on factual information. It's not built on factual information. It's built on misinformation. And misinformation, though it takes a long time to rectify, it does rectify. And I think what's happening now is that the misinformation that America's got is now rectifying.
I don't think people in other countries realize just how bad it is here in America. Because I know people in other countries are seeing all of our mass shootings, school shootings, Donald Trump. But I don't think they realized how evil and manipulative our government actually is. I mean, first off, we're all operating based off of a paper that was written who the knows when by a bunch of racists and slave owners, which this document was meant to be updated throughout the years for whatever reason we haven't. Second off, the first lie I was ever told in school was about Thanksgiving. I was taught in school that the Pilgrims came to America, the Native Americans taught them the way of the land, showed them how to get food. and they all sat down together for a nice little meal. They leave out that minor detail that we killed, raped, and pillaged them. Third thing, my high school science teacher was suspended for teaching us about, get this, evolution. The basic science of evolution. But nope, everything here has to be Jesus. Fourth thing, let me find the most American thing in my kitchen and I'll read the ingredients to you right now. Oh, hazelnut coffee creamer. I mean, it's gotta be just what you make cream with and hazelnut, right? Now, how American food goes is you know the first three ingredients, that's it. The potassium phosphate, mono and diglycerides, artificial flavoring, sodium, salt, source of lactose. Where's the source? What the does source of lactose even mean? And the fifth thing, growing up, I literally genuinely thought that Mexico was like the scariest place ever. And the thing is, it's not even just me. Ask any American that grew up here, that's what they will say. Like, seriously, I thought the moment I stepped foot in Mexico, I was gonna like die or get mugged or something. And now every time I go to Mexico, I love it. Best people live there too. But you know why America makes it seem like everywhere else is scary? They don't want us to leave. And they don't want us to leave because of this big grand scheme or whatever they're doing. They're letting everyone get guns. In my state, you don't need to have your gun registered.
Now that lady made a very good observation about the food. There are foods in America that are being fed to the American people. There are chemicals and, phosphates and all kinds of stuff that is being fed to the American people that aren't allowed to be fed to the people of Europe. There are a few things in America that aren't allowed in the rest of the world for people to consume. But for some reason, Americans are allowed to consume them. And I'm just like, well, don't their scientists know this? But yes, they do. But they don't care because why? Experiments. America loves to run experiments on its people. It always has done. Okay, that's why I said America is a failed experiment. And I know there are going to be people in this comment section that are like, you know what, you're anti-American, blah, blah, blah. It's not about being anti-American. It's about just truth and facts. The nation's falling. The nation is falling. And you guys can actually see it from when you talk about the family structure, from the whole the trans agenda and what's going on there, womanhood being hijacked, children, the child trafficking that's going on within America. It's just failed experiment after failed experiment. I know a lot of you think that it's to do with the leadership and Democrat and Republican and Democrat and all this kind of stuff. That thing's an experiment. It's a trap. Because essentially both parties have to adhere to the people that give them money. That's it. Both parties have to adhere to people who give them money. I will give Donald Trump the fact that he didn't need the money, and I get why people would say that Donald Trump would be the best American president, and I'd probably agree with you, okay? But essentially, both parties are funded by people with interests. So it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Both parties are funded by people with interests. And those interests are going to get taken care of. And the people are going to suffer once again. So, in closing, my American peoples, I love you. However, please, please, please understand that it's actually normal to have a baby, okay? It's normal to have a baby and not pay $40,000 just to have a baby. It doesn't mean you're a communist. It doesn't mean you're a socialist. It just means you care about humanity. And please understand, it's okay to eat normal foods. Also, it's okay to not look at the rest of the world like they hate you. The rest of the world are saying stuff like this because they're trying to let you know that it's not as bad as you actually think it is. It's not as crazy as it is in the outside world. You've been misinformed. You've been miseducated from each country, from Africa to Europe to everywhere. America is full of propaganda to its people. I'm telling you, it is not as bad as they keep telling you on the news, on the TV. Please get a passport, get yourself to other countries and see that it's really not as bad as you think it is.